Welcome to Cackling in the Void.
I'm Kaylee.
I'm Ashley.
And let's see if the void echoes back today.
Just today, we're two, oh my god, we're two best friends diving deeper in the void, talk about Iron's Flame, chapters 57 and 58. But only today. We hate each other every other day. You said today in in the other sentence, and my brain just went today. We're gonna just think about the word today for some reason.
Well, I mean, it works because we are just talking about these chapters today.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So, like we said, we're talking about chapters 57 and 58, and these were interesting chapters. I feel like there's some pretty good information in these, so I'm excited to cover them.
I felt like they were very dense.
Yeah.
In terms of, I don't know if they were slightly longer, but they were really dense and a lot of
politically.
Yes, I was going to say
it's very political heavy.
Mm-hmm.
2 chapters that I feel like, and it's, I don't know, I feel like it's well written enough where it's like, it's interesting, but it is like if you're here just for like Violet and Xaden, it's definitely. I know some people.
I mean, I still think that it has a lot to do with them and their dynamic that they present outwards to not only their friends and allies, but also to
their enemies.
To their enemies.
I just remember in the Lunar Chronicles, I think it's in the first book in Cinder, that there's a page, because this is when I still read books.
Crazy.
I remember it's on the right side. Like I vividly remember. And it's a page, and it's just, what's his face? Kai? The prince? I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whatever his face.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about because
yeah.
I read the series.
You did. And it was him, and this is more in the beginning, I believe, and it was him like going to talk like to his council. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. I could not get through that page. I was like, this is so much. And it's okay.
I think it was, I was like, I did the audiobook. I was like.
Oh, of course you won't know the page. But do you know the part I'm talking, like where he goes and he talks to the council? It's in the beginning.
Yes, because he's like trying to broker for his more or less like freedom because he wants to have more.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm so glad you know what I'm talking
agency.
about. I just remember really struggling through that like set of things.
Yeah, the way he asks is weird.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I read that a long time ago, like probably a decade ago now, which is wild. But I still remember being like, wow, that was rough. So like, that's why it's like when I get to these, I'm like, I understand like some people can have a harder time getting through like more politically heavy stuff or like these type of settings. Because I had a lot of trouble with that specific page. But I feel like she writes it well enough where it's like a lot more fast paced. Which I appreciate.
It is a lot more fast-paced.
Slow. Like, it's slower than, obviously, like an action scene or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's faster-paced than, like, something that's like, now we need to cover this page, and now there's this document page. And like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's nice because she does give a lot of... Because what I feel like we're reading a lot more of is not necessarily them breaking down exactly what the dynamic is, but her setting a scene saying, this is the setup that we have. Now I'm just going to present you the characters and you can figure out what actually is going on in the scene. Mm-hmm. She doesn't over explain everything to the point where you're like,
I got it. Thanks.
Okay, cool. We already knew like the outlining objective. Like it didn't have to be so much. Yeah. But I think you're right. She does it in a way that has a really great balance to it.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, obviously, like, I know that we're interested in reading Poppy War, which is a lot more, like, dense in that sense. But I'm excited to read that. But
I was like, honestly,
I'm really excited to read that series. I've heard great things.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll cover it. We'll get there. We can do it.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll see.
But starting right off, kind of, Like, we kind of went on a side tangent.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Jumping into the chapters.
Thank you. Jumping into the chapters, it starts off with they are meeting Markham at Athene, and they're like, this is really interesting. And she does make a note. She's like, this is the second time I've been to Athene and Xaden has hidden something from me. She's like, this is ridiculous. Why is this happening again?
Yeah.
And she does say that she's like, I spent the night in the library because I just needed to, like, calm my brain down and, like, really think about what's happening and not lash out and be mean.
Valid, though. Valid to take your space.
Oh, for sure. And I do like how she mentions, like, as mad as I am at him for keeping it from me, I can recognize, like, this is a really big sign of trust. Like, he can literally die from me knowing this. And she's like, it might be foolish, but me knowing first has a lot difference, which I think it makes sense. It's interesting, but it makes sense.
It's interesting for her that it makes such a difference. She's like, oh, because I know first instead of last, it matters more to me. Like, it does seem like he trusts me more, which is valid. Valid to think that way.
Yeah. And I think it's just comes down to the, like, she was hidden in the dark for, like, the rebellion for so long that now it's like, I'm happy that I get to know first this time and it not be the other way around, because it's, I mean, I would also hate having to catch up on all of that knowledge and everybody else just knows it immediately and you're just like, I don't, I'm confused.
Yeah. Seriously.
And like we said, like, she had a lot of trouble, you know, finding her center and like doing her entire mindscape because all of her knowledge was pretty much wrong.
Yeah. Which is one of those things, like, to think about, that her whole world got turned upside down and then now she is just finding out that he is an intrinsic that, like, kind of hurts her in a way.
Yeah. And it's obviously this isn't as, like, world shattering as obviously her entire worldview being completely wrong and everything like that, but it's kind of like icing on the cake, like, oh my god, there's another thing, like, what the fuck, why is there another thing that I have to learn and, like, grapple with? And like we said in the previous episode, there is trauma around, like, being read without knowledge, for sure. I mean, like, anybody would not want to be read without knowledge, but because of Dane, and, like, she even says it multiple times, she's like, at least he didn't, like, make Liam die, but at the same time, like, I can't think of that and not think of Liam.
Yeah, it's also one of those things where it's like the invasion of privacy almost, too. Yeah. Where it's like hey, that's not cool to do on your partner. Like, especially if they can't back. And so, you know, wrestling with the idea of, like, did you manipulate me into the situation? Yeah. Did you plant the seed? How long has it been going on? Like, did you just read my intentions and then play into them? Because you knew that that's how you would get what you wanted in the best way. Yeah. And, like, that's scary. Like, he could have done that so easily. And it's, you know, they are all kind of waiting for the Melgan and everybody to show, and they kind of start having this conversation, and she kind of keeps checking in. She's like, oh, like, are they here yet? Like, what's happening? And dragons can't really sense each other mind. Like, they can only sense each other mind to mind. They can't. But only if they let each other. Yeah. So, like, if you're not let in, then you're not gonna. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, Violet also does mention, she's like, Mom and Dad are fighting. Like, everybody knows Taryn and Sigil are fighting. Like, this is not a unheard of thing at this point. Like, everybody knows, like, oh, they're fighting. This isn't great. And she does also mention, like, I'm not sure how many, like, this times I have left in me, no matter how much I love him. Because she is reaching, like, she's like, there was the Ressin, and then,
you know, wyvern, and like her entire worldview was a big like this time, like you could trust me
Yeah,
this time.
for sure.
And then the intent's like, trust me this time. You know, like she's like, obviously we've heard it. It's been a big reoccurring theme the past couple chapters where it's the I don't know how much more of this I have in me.
But it's interesting that she keeps saying that, but she's saying to him that she, you know,
It's really interesting her very
is gonna
different like thought process versus what she's saying out loud.
yeah, and you're like, well, you're doing the opposite of like what you're saying to do. You know, because she's saying like to his face that like we can handle it and we can work it out, and
yeah. It's really interesting to see her
grapple with this. And he, you know, as they're doing this in like their mind, like at like right before like they all come, which is so interesting that like, I mean, Xaden points it out too. He's like, are we really going to do it right here? Like,
yeah. And, you know, she does say like she needs to look away before she starts like pelting him with questions or forgives him without getting answers. And she was like, nope, we're not playing that game. We need to look away.
Yeah.
Look away. And, you know, she's like, he's asked her like, oh, did you figure out anything else? Like for the journals and stuff. And she's like, no, I haven't. And like Sawyer's been helping because he's smitten. Oh,
yeah.
So he's so smitten for Yesenia. And he's like determined to help because Yesenia is, and like even like Traeger and Kat have came and help, and like people are really trying to figure out what went wrong with the wards, and she isn't finding anything. And you know, he was like, well, if you found something, would you know? And or would you would have known? He tells her that, or she tells him that, and he goes, well, would I have known? And you know, she does say, she's like, I do appreciate you taking me here and like not fighting it. And he was like, well, I did learn my lesson at Corden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do actually like the question she asked of like, exactly how much of this is mine to forgive? Like it's his secret. Interesting question. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah. It like that is true, but it's also the
yes, it's his secret, but it's also like your trust and your trauma.
Yeah. Your trust, your trauma. But he also did say like sorry. He did say that he was trying to be honest about like obviously he didn't read her intentions after a certain point, you know?
Yeah, he does say because she asked, like, did you ever use your signet and my intentions to influence, like you said, like influence my feelings? He says never. But he does say, he's like, but I do lack a certain self-control when it comes to you. And our bond makes it a lot easier for you to send intentions to me without you even realizing it. And Taryn immediately is like, I could torch him if you'd like, but you seem attached.
Valid, though. You do. You seem really attached.
Yeah. And then he kind of keeps going. It's like, I stopped the moment I realized you're more to me than the general's daughter and the damage that Dane had done. And I realized I was no better than he was. And she does think, and she does say, it's like, fuck, I remember every time I walked into a room and I felt the prickling on my, like, the back of my head. And so if you go back and reread book 1, he does it all the time in book 1.
Yes, but there is that certain point where it does stop.
It does stop. It stops after I feel like they kiss. Because the prickle, and then I don't think it ever happened again. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, it does stop after that.
It does. It does. And it's like, and it could be so written off as like nerves and it like, you know, like in quotes, like butterflies, like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting the chills type of thing. And so it's really interesting to see like, oh, it does stop. Like we haven't, oh, dang it. We have not.
Wow. Wow. Ashley found herself boring. That's crazy. Damn.
We have not heard of the tingling since then.
Yes. Well, at least for her, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we really haven't been in anybody else's mind, so.
That's true. You are correct.
I don't know who else. We wouldn't be like, wow, Rhiannon felt a tingling on her neck. Like, I feel like that's something that you really wouldn't tell somebody because it's such a, like, it's just chills on my neck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really don't feel like that's something, like, I don't know. I just feel like that'd be such a, like, it's itchy.
A small thing that you wouldn't
like,
notice, you know?
Yeah. Until you realized and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's what that was. And, you know, she does say, she's like, God, like, I want to forgive him, or maybe I'm just becoming complacent with betrayal because it's literally fucking everywhere.
Yeah. It's also just one of those things where I understand why she feels that way because Dane's betrayal was so big. Mm-hmm. He literally killed somebody. Like, inadvertently, but
yeah, like,
very
he
much
obviously did not
that.
Kill him with his bare hands, but.
Yes. But definitely was a part of that.
Oh, for sure. It wouldn't have happened if he didn't need his things. But if it didn't happen, we wouldn't be where we are now either.
Yeah,
which
that's
sucks.
true.
Like, it's a catch-22. Not that we want Liam to die.
No, I kind of did.
I did. Not that we didn't like Liam.
No,
that's what I should say.
Loved him.
We loved Liam. But it really progressed her character arc, and it really, like, threw her into a character arc, I feel like.
Sorry, I just thought of something, and I was like, that's a spoiler section thing.
Yes, everybody keep an eye out for the spoiler section, because Kaylee just thought of something, and this is very important.
Well, it's not very important. It just has something to do with this.
Are you writing it down?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. And, you know, so everybody joins, and Melvin came with 7 people. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Mira walks over, and, you know, they're kind of chatting a little bit, and Violet openly is like, I want to be like you when I'm older. And Mira's like, you're going to be better than me, which is so cute. And it's really nice to see, like, their sibling dynamic, because we don't, and once again, it completely makes sense. Like, we don't see that with Brennan. Like, Brennan pretty much is, not that he's not their brother, but it's definitely, like, that's their general more than their brother. Just, they lost 6 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, so that Melgren appears, and Violet's like, oh, I know only a couple of them. One of them's an air... I almost said bender.
An air wielder.
Air wielder, and they can literally just take the air from your lungs, which is really scary.
Yeah.
And, like, Violet does make a point. She's like, wow, Mom looks really exhausted, which for some reason I keep yawning, so I mean...
Valid, though.
I was like, I'm not even the one up that early. What?
So I was like, valid, though. I'm really exhausted, too. It's okay.
And, you know, Melgren kind of starts talking and is like, oh, I wish you know, here I was thinking you were dead, Ulysses. And Ulysses immediately is like, damn, I was here hoping you were.
Their dynamic is crazy.
It was insane.
The way that he was like, they were both like, damn, wish you were really dead. And they're like, literally. I fucking wish you were dead.
Yeah. And, you know, Melgren is, like, Xaden is there and kind of, they're talking a little bit. And Melgren immediately is like, I wish we never let you guys into the quadrant. And I love how Xaden immediately is like, well, regrets are a bitch, aren't they?
Yeah, I was like, damn, that fucking sucks, bro. But it already happened.
Yeah, literally. And then, you know, they're talking, and it gets brought up about the carcasses that Xaden literally went and dropped at the outposts and stuff like that back in the very beginning, or the beginning of part 2, when they are all talking about.
Yeah, when he saves Violet and they take the riot with them. Yeah. Which is what they're mostly upset about, because they
stole their students.
Well, yeah, they stole the students, but they stole their army.
They stole the army, and also, like,
if you really think about it, they stole part of the army. Yeah. And that's the thing, is they are obviously really concerned that the Venom are on the border and need more numbers.
Yeah. And they also, like, I do really like how Melgren says, like, do you know the destruction you caused by dropping those wyvern at the outpost? The lengths we had to go to in order to keep it quiet, the civilians we had to. He stops himself, breathing deeply. You almost tore down centuries of work of tightly woven defense strategies designed to protect the people within our borders.
Yeah. And then, but Ulysses says, but only the people in the borders.
That was Mira.
Oh,
We
see,
love her.
I love that.
Yeah, but only the people within your borders. Fuck everybody else, right? So good. But it's also like, he pretty much admitted to killing, like, the civilians we had to, and he cuts himself off. Like, he had to kill civilians because civilians saw it. And he was like, nope, their lives are less important than this defense strategy.
Well, if you think about it, it's the same quorum of, do you do one life for 100? Mm-hmm. Like, would you sacrifice 100 people to save one life, or would you sacrifice one life to save 100 people?
And that's where Violet and Xaden differ.
Yeah, that's where Violet and Xavier. Yes, you are correct. That is where Violet and Xaden really do differ, because he would sacrifice the 100 for the one life, and she would sacrifice the one life for 100. Mm-hmm. She would try to find a way to, like, save the one life, to save everybody.
But if
so that she could save 101 people.
Yeah, but if she couldn't, she'd sacrifice the one person. But, you know, and then Melgren kind of turns our attention to Violet and is like, "We let you go. Mm-hmm. Like, we let you guys go." And so after she brutally murdered the vice commandant, ever stopped to think about why? And then I love how Xaden is like, "I personally don't try to think about you."
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really think about it.
Literally. And, Melgren, obviously his signet is being able to, like, see the future and, like, battles and things like that. And he's like, well, maybe we let you go because we needed you for a battle. And, Ulysses is immediately like, I would rather meet Malik than fight for Navarre again. Like, he is really standing strong. Like you said, like, his dynamic with Melgren is intense. It's good. And he... I lost my spot. I apologize. Oh, and then, like, they're, like, openly like, well, they're gonna overrun Samara. Like, we need you guys to help us fight. And, Violet's mom does do, like, a subtle nod at Violet after that. Like, he's not lying. Like, that is what's gonna happen. And, Violet does ask Xaden to read one of their, like, intentions.
Yeah, she does ask him to read everybody's intentions if he can, and he says everybody else is shielded except for one, and she's scared shitless, and will do anything to convince us to come fight with them.
Yeah, and then she also says that, she wants to eat after this meeting and argue with your mother over her supposed affection for her daughters.
Yeah.
And I love how Violet immediately is like, holy shit, no wonder they're, like, killed, because, like, they're a fucking liability. This is wild.
Yeah. Well, it's just, like, it's one of those things where it's like you can know so much more.
Mm-hmm. Like, the amount of knowledge that you can have.
Also, it's interesting that, like, he can, even though he's reading intentions, if that makes sense, that he can read them so clearly in terms of, like, oh, she's gonna go fight with your mom. Like, she wants to go do this about specifically this specific subject, Yeah,
I guess it is, like, you have intentions, and that's technically just your thoughts that you don't really know yet.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. And no wonder he's a liability. Makes sense on why she said that, because that is...
Yeah, but also it's like that's an extremely powerful thing to have within negotiations or anything like that. But also, like, not only that, it could be an extremely dangerous weapon on the battlefield to predict what your opponent is going to do. Mm-hmm. So that's also the other thing, is it can be used as a tactic to make your fighting better in terms of that as well.
Yeah. And, one thing that we wanted to point out is Coda is there, which is like one of the head Empyreans. And he's bonded to Melgren. And he very much is like, we're going to leave. Don't touch us. Like, if you attack, I'm obviously going to eat you. And,
Yeah.
They're really trying to convince... Navarre's really trying to convince the Riot to, like, fight for...
Yeah, because
them.
Melgren openly says, I saw the battle and we lose.
Mm-hmm.
But if you guys are there, I can't see the end of the battle, but I would assume that we don't lose at the end of that, you know?
Because there is more than 3 marked ones, so he couldn't see the battle if there was more than 3 marked ones.
Yep.
And which is really interesting on why. I wonder why.
I think the reason why they can't see the outcome of the battle and why they're blocked is because of their relics. Because the relic protects them, yes, from dragonfire, but I would assume that they also put other types of protection spells, such as, like, you can't find me.
That's
like
true. I don't think they could be reused, though. Like, now it's the relic's just kind of like a scar. Like a big scar.
See, that's the thing, is you're like, oh, it's a big scar, but it kind of seems like it sank into their skins.
Yeah, but it does mention, like, I don't think they're protected from dragonfire forever.
No, I don't think they're protected from dragonfire.
They were holding the stones.
Yeah.
And then it all, like, radiated up. And so it's like a big scar from how intense that magic was. So maybe it's still imbued in them, but I don't, like, the rock is done. Like, they've used it like that.
Yeah, the rock is done. But like you were saying, it seems like if you applied the same type of theory as the conduit to the human body, because even Violet, like, mentions this, like, when she directed the lightning and killed the venom, she knew that the magic would go towards the venom due to the magical magnetic field of that thing.
That's true.
So and then also it's like that's kind of the same wavelength of how the conduit works as well.
That's true.
So if you think about it, the person that made the stones, which we know is Sloane and Liam's mom. Yeah. And was one of the best siphons of, like, that generation. So I would assume that there's, like, some sort of special way to imbue them to impart more than just the dragonfire onto them, if that makes any sense.
That makes sense.
I was like, I know that was, like, very long-winded, but I don't know if that all, like, circled back and made sense, but...
Good job.
Yeah.
That made sense. And it's also, I guess, like, it could be imbued in them, like, at least not the dragonfire one, but, like, you can't see them.
But then also...
like, the protection spell in that sense. Kaylee wants to go off.
No, I just thought about something, and once again, I don't know if this counts as spoiler territory.
Would you like to put it down?
Yes, it kind of goes back into the idea of Taryn saying that dragons can only detect other dragons if they are, like, let in some way, like, or, like, can sense them. And you understand that signets are part of the dragon's power.
Yeah.
Do you understand where I'm going with this? So what if those dragons are specifically blocking them from seeing their riders and where they are because they're not...
I'm not gonna lie. I am somewhat understanding, but kind of lost. We can talk about it in spoilers.
I was like, I really just don't know. I'm writing it down.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Ashley's gonna continue, and I'm gonna write a really big long thing for a second.
Okay. You got this.
Yeah.
And so, Violet's really, really, really upset because they're not going to fight with Melgren. And, Violet does say, she's like,
well, tell them why. Like, tell them why. Tell them why they're not going to fight with them. Honestly, I loved the quote and how they were like, no, we're not going to fight with you because of.
Well, now I got to find it.
The thing. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. You're right. I'm so sorry. I'm over here trying to type this out, and I'm like, well, tell them why. Do it, Ashley. Go on. Tell them.
Well, it's because, like, why would we fight for someone that isn't willing to defend other people? And I know what you're talking about, and that's a little later. And she is upset because she's like, so we're willing to fight for people of poor O'Meal, but we're willing to let Navarian citizens die. Like, she's really upset about it. And, Melgren's really trying too. He's like, fight for us, and I have it on King Tari's word that we will respect your independence, your riot, and the city you take refuge in. And, Violet also does say, she's like, I don't agree that we shouldn't fight for them because it's not fair for civilians to die because their government is corrupted and their leadership has failed no matter how corrupt their leadership is. We should still, like, it's not fair to the citizens. They don't know what's going on, especially in Navarre, because they have been hidden from this for so long. And, they do say, she's like, we don't support kingdoms who don't help neighboring civilians, let alone their own children, so they can hide in the safety beyond the wards.
Yeah.
Like, they understand. I get where they're coming from. It's why would we help you if you're literally refusing to help anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
And I do love how Ulysses is, once again, why don't you call on the allies that helped you 600 years ago? Oh, wait, you cut them off centuries ago.
Yeah, which... what a blow.
Yeah. And so, they end with, we're not going to help. You guys can figure it out. Mm-hmm. And their mom also, and someone does pick up a sword during this. And Taryn, what's his face? Xaden is immediately like, no, we don't want to lose the civility, do we?
Yeah, we don't want to lose the air of civility in this.
And, so they all kind of leave, and Violet's mom sees Brennan for the first time, and she openly admits, like, Violet's like, you can see her wobble. Like, she almost looked like she was, like, thrown off her feet. And she's like, I've never seen her lose her mask. Like, that was kind of wild. And so her mom walks over and is like, well, how do you know? Because Brennan's, now talking. And it's like, why would we do this? And everything like that. And, I do love how they're like, well, you might not fight for Navarre, but the dragons are fighting with the Empyrean, and they won't let the hatching ground, like, fall. Mm-hmm. And the hatching ground will fall if this happens. And, I'm lost again. Oh, here we go. Got it. And they're like, oh, like, who's your leader? Like, why is this not being a big thing? And then Brendan steps up, and he's like, well, we rule by committee, and we're going to have to talk to the committee about it. And, Brendan, that's where also Brendan kind of calls out his mom, and that's where it's like, we don't defend a kingdom who sacrifice their civilians. And then he looks at his mom and goes, let alone their own children. Mm-hmm. And, like, obviously it makes sense. Brendan is very bitter about this.
I mean, I think anybody would
it makes sense.
A little bit bitter about going to be openly, like, your mom knows what the mission is.
Mm-hmm. And, Brennan is like, her mom is baffled. Like, you could just tell her mom is really thrown off her feet. And, again, Violet's really upset. She's like, I don't understand. Like, we're really saying no to helping citizens. Like, that's not especially she's like, that's not who I am. That's not who I thought this riot would be. Like, you could tell, like, this is, again, where it's we'd sacrifice 1 over 100 versus 100 over 1. Mm-hmm. And, Violet's mom starts walking over to them, and Brennan kind of says, she's like, she sacrificed you too, Violet. Like, this isn't, she didn't just sacrifice me, like, she sacrificed you. And, you know, they all kind of start turning away, and her mom walks over, and her mom is like, Zayden's like, oh, you want to see Mira and Violet? And she's just like, he's alive. Like, why didn't you tell me? Like, why is he alive? And she's like, and, you know, Violet's like, well, he's the one that, like, mended me with the blunt, like, the blade when she got stabbed. And, you know, and Mira's mad, obviously, because she's like, well, like, how does it feel to be lied to? It's appalling, isn't it? Like, even your own family lying to you. Mm-hmm. And it is, like, Violet does say, too, she's like, there's one thing in, like, cutting her off and losing contact and leaving her that way and never seeing her again and leaving her behind and knowing she's gonna die. Like, she's like, there's a big difference to me. Which, there is a difference. And, you know, Violet says, like, oh, like, you know about Erasure. And she was like, well, you think I'd be ignorant to know where my daughters, and then, like, she catches herself and goes, my children are.
Yeah, because she's so used to saying her daughters, because for, like, 10 years, basically, Brennan was not a part of the family at all.
Yeah, because, like, he died, in quotes, 6 years ago, but then he was in he was probably, we did the math, like, 10 years older than Violet, so he was in the quadrant, then he was flying around for 3 years, and then died 6 years. And, you know, she does, like, reach into her pocket, and is like, here's, like, the journal. Like, did you cut open the wyvern at where the wyvern fell at your wards? And they're like, no. And they're like, well, cut them open because there's stones inside of them with ruins, and they should be dark, cold, and, like, just dead. And so Mira and Violet are going to go, like, look at those. But Violet's mom does say, she's like, here's the journal. And it's the journal Violet was literally tortured over. And it says, Warren wanted to keep the wards all for Navarre, not sharing them, just so Navarre could be safe. And Lyra wanted to share it with everybody.
Yeah, and then you really get to see the difference of ideology with Warwick and Lyra. But Lyra's journal is in, what's the word, Ashley? You said it so good. You said it so good you said it so good this morning.
It's so intimidating to read.
You said it's so good, though.
Moranian,
yeah.
Moranian, there we go. And that's, as we know, because we've said it before, I remember trying to say it, it's Yesenia's
specialty.
And
which, thank fuck she came over to the rebellion. Not that we didn't think that she was going to, but, you know.
Yeah. And, you know, Violet's mom to say, like, Warren lied in the journals, so you need to read this one and figure it out. And, you know, so then they're flying home. The riots, or they're all separating, they're done. But I do love how her mom does say, it's like, you don't need to understand my choices. You just need to survive, and I'm willing to live with your disappointment.
Yeah. And
that's a big thing to say. It's also really interesting in how she's willing for her kids to be disappointed to kind of keep up what she's doing. But it's so interesting to see those little cracks of her still trying to help them. And
it is one of those things where it is interesting about that she's okay to swallow the disappointment, but I honestly think that it's okay for her to swallow the disappointment because, like she said, she only cares if they're alive, and that's it.
Yeah. And, you know, so they're flying home, and Mira and Violet, like, break off to go look at the wyvern that died at, like, the ward, but, like, not really the ward, whatever. The ward that's, like, half functioning. And, you know, Mira cuts open one of the wyvern carcasses and, like, finds the stone, and Violet is immediately like, that's the most complicated ruin I've ever seen. Like, how do they have runes now? Like, who's giving them runes? Because they can't, at least we don't know at this point if they can make their own runes or if someone's, like, giving it to them. We don't know. Or if they're finding them. Who knows? We don't know. Like,
what if they have a different rune system?
That too. We don't know. We hopefully will figure that out. But that's interesting. That's a good point.
Sorry.
Kaylee. And so that actually don't get sidetracked. It's okay. You could talk.
I'm writing it down. I
Kaylee's really in a write it down mood today. And so then the stone is humming and they're like, oh fuck, like why is it humming? It should be dark, cold, and like a dead stone. And the wyvern next to them wakes up, because this one's like now cut open and dead. The wyvern next to them wakes up and Violet panics and like shoots the wyvern and it dies and like blasts Mira and Violet back. And then the stone stops humming, but she's like, that's so interesting because it's like a hive mind. Like they all kind of work under the same thing. And that's what, and then, you know, Amira's immediately like, well, if you don't figure out what he lied about, we're all fucked. So you better go do that. Immediately go, please.
Yeah.
And that's where that chapter ends.
Which is, I think...
Jesus Christ, you are writing a lot.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Just
I'm not reading it. I'm going to be surprised. I'll be surprised.
More things came up and I was like, I just feel like it probably is part of a spoiler section. Sorry, guys.
We would love to include the non-spoilers, but if you're in the non-spoilers, you're here for a reason. So
exactly,
we love to have you.
And I want to be respectful. Okay, guys, I want to be respectful.
We want to respect that you're reading along and that you don't
also
want
like
spoilers.
As somebody who, if they are reading along, would not like spoilers. I also,
I am that person.
So.
I'd be so upset if I had spoilers. So we're glad that you're here, and we hope that you're enjoying the non-spoiler section. And with that, we're going to hop into chapter 58, which starts with, it's been like a week. And Violet's
You
like,
think it's been that long?
Yeah, she says Brennan hasn't been listening for a whole week. And she's really upset about it. And Violet meets Xaden down in the sparring gym. And she's like, dude, well, you want to talk about this in here? Who's going to, like... people can hear us. And he's like, well, who the fuck's gonna be in the sparring gym at 10 at night? And there's a shield.
Yeah.
Like, we're fine. And they also, like, they don't openly say intents. Like, they don't openly say big words that would, like, cause red flags for everybody.
Absolutely.
And because they're not dumb most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time. I had to add that in. And, you know, Violet is mad. She's like, well, I haven't seen you in, like, a full week, and this is where you want to be? Like,
yeah.
And he's like, well, what better place to fight? I know we're going to fight. Which is so valid. And it's also, obviously, in real life, please don't, like, hit and punch your spouses. Like, that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But, like, in this world, like, it's very much, like, obviously, they're trained to fight. And this is much more like a verbal fight than a physical fight. Yeah. But it's, like, they're trained to have that combative, like, they know they're not actually going to hurt each other. This is just
they've
very different dynamic
before.
But please
like,
don't hurt your...
Yeah. I was like taught sparring and sparring within a controlled environment with rules and regulations is a lot different than just beating your partner.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real honest about that. That's kind of fucking different, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So just in general, I want to say that.
As a general rule, don't beat your partners.
Yeah, that's crazy, guys. Don't fucking do that.
I know that's such a high bar, but wow.
I mean, the self-control is hard sometimes, though.
Obviously. And then, you know, they're talking, and Xaden is like, I think you can hurt me. And she's like, I don't think I need to dignify that with a response. Like...
Yeah, just one of those things where you're like, okay.
Yeah. And... you know, he does say, he's like, you're capable of hurting me in ways I don't think you've even begun to fathom yet.
Yeah.
Which, that's, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. And it's also like, when you love somebody that deeply, they can hurt you in such a hard way. Because they know a lot about you. And they know, and like, they know exactly. And that's, I guess, like, in quotes, like the catch-22 of loving somebody. And having somebody love you is like, you get all of this love, but then they know where to, if they want to make you mad, they know exactly where to push.
Yeah.
And like exactly where to hurt you. And that's where it's the self-control comes in, and you don't do that.
Yeah. It's also just like the idea of that's not what you should be doing anyway. Like it shouldn't.
And I think that's what he's really scared of, is someone knowing where those little buttons and like, you know, he has such this big shield on, like this big like armor up. He's like, but as an example, in like what, chapter 9 or something in book 1, where he's like, this is the weak spot. Like, he shows her the weak spots, and now he's scared that he shows where he's exposed, she's gonna push where he's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I also think that he's just like scared because he's never done it before. And that's also a very valid feeling, to be like, hey, I'm nervous because I've like, this has never happened. I've never done this. This is brand new. It's awkward and it feels weird and I'm scared.
Yeah. And, you know, he's like, I might be skilled enough to like do a death blow when fighting, but you have the power to fucking destroy me.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's like, well, we could fight in here, or we can see if Taryn and Sigale are done fighting, and we can go to the nearest peak in this beautiful, like, winter storm and, like, this snowstorm. But make no doubt we're going to talk about this, because I'm not going to lose you to this. Like, he's so, like, I'm here. We need to talk about it. We can do this. And, you know, I do love how she's like, I've had a week where I've just wanted to yell at him and be mad at him, but also being able to ruminate the reasons why he didn't tell me. And, like, one of the reasons she says is, well, he values his life, which is so valid.
Yes. Which is so valid.
But I do absolutely love that she says that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're right. I feel that's also why I'm like, hey, time helps, because when you are going and you're talking about it right away, sometimes your emotions can be heightened, your feelings can be heightened, and you're not necessarily thinking clearly, and you're just fucking angry at that point.
Yeah.
And then you still need to like regulate your system and see, actually, why am I angry? What is going on? What's
and then
really
try
like
to see the other person's point of view. Why are they angry? So then you know, obviously not to like hurt them, but like, okay, this is why they're, so how can I best help them too? Like, how do I help myself? Because that should always be number one, depending on the situation, I guess. But like, how can we both help each other in this situation? You know? And I do love how she's like, well, yes, I've wanted to yell and scream at him, but it's also like, I understand the reasons why he didn't tell me. Like, I get it now. I understand. And I do love how he's like, well, we don't fight in the bedroom.
Yeah,
like, immediately,
that's
we
like
don't
his
fight
rule.
in the bedroom. Yep. And she's like, what? Since when? We always fought in the bedroom. He's like, well, since now. And she's like, we can make the rules. And he's like, go ahead and make one.
Yeah, and he's just like, go ahead, make one. Which, I mean, okay, before Ashley reads the quote, because I do love the quote. I do think, I mean, my therapist says it too, that you shouldn't fight in your bedroom. I think it's important. I think it's important that couples don't do that, so that they have like a place that it feels like a safe place, you know?
Yep.
And like,
and it's
you
also
have to understand.
Oh, for sure. And it's also kind of going back to the like taking time. Like, I know that I've done it with friends and I've done it with, you know, partner and stuff, but like, if things are getting heightened, it's the pause, we're going to take a tea break, let's go make tea and have a nice cup of tea and breathe.
Yeah, and just breathe and relax for a second. But I don't know, for me, I'm like, emails. I send you I send you an email, you reply with, I'm going to take 24 hours, and then you have 24 hours after you send me the I'm going to take 24 hours email to digest, respond, and do that. Because sorry, that was weird. Yeah, I feel like for me, that's the best way for me to communicate, because I get very heightened, and I used to. I do not anymore. I don't yell at partners. That's not a thing I'm going to do. No, we don't do that anymore. That's crazy. You know, so that's why I'm like, we do emails or like something else, or like voice memos or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't care, whatever works. Unfortunately, I need a lot of time to process. It sucks, but
I get it. I understand.
It's
also like, there's a very big difference of like receiving an email and receiving a text. One's a lot more intimidating.
No,
But
the
I think
reason
it's
why I'm like,
really a healthy
oh,
way to do it because you've had time to think about it. You had to write
mhm,
it down. So you had to think about it, writing it down. Then you
yeah,
proofed
hmm,
it. Now you're thinking again. And so
yep,
it gives you
hmm,
that a lot of time to do it. And a text can be so much less or so much casual, more casual. Whereas
yeah. The
an
text is
email
casual,
is
but
like
also it's
so
the idea of not fighting in your bedroom. You
yeah,
text
like
every day, like
exactly.
like
There's a
you're like,
big
oh
difference.
hey,
Like the text
like
is a safe place. Like you can
yeah,
have dumb little
like
like I wanted the color green or something.
yeah,
Something
or
really
like, oh my
dumb.
god, like, do you want to have dinner tonight? Or like, oh, I saw this thing and you sent a picture. Like, it's very different.
That's like the
It's
safe
not.
place because that's where you don't fight because it's
Yeah,
safe,
I was like,
and so it's like an email is very much a you're not trying to start a fight, it's just explaining your feelings.
yeah, and I am. I'm a fucking pussy and I can't look you in the eye and tell you this. Actually, I mean, I can do that. And I have done that where I've written everything down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to read this and I'm so sorry. Kaylee reading this.
Like, hold on, what was that word again?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like sometimes I like,
But it's
everybody
also
gets
like if
heightened in
you
their own ways.
exactly, and it's also like if you write it down once again, you can
You've
digest it,
really
and
thought
digest
about
it,
it.
and digest it. And it's
Hmm.
also like if you kind of like it'll make it a little easier to talk about because you've read it. You kind of have what your
Yeah.
mind is gonna say. And it's like everybody kind of slips up while reading too, and it kind of makes it like, oh, like it's okay, like we're okay, like we're still.
Yeah, but like that's the thing is I also think that it gives your partner that time to digest and ruminate about what you're going to do and like what you want to do, and also sometimes, it is okay to do that and to find other ways to communicate with your partner in a healthier manner for your guys' relationship to really flourish,
I agree. I agree. I agree.
And I think that it's cool that they are finding other ways that work for them.
Yes.
Because here's the thing is what I like about this is they implemented kind of rules in the beginning thinking that those rules could work. And then they're realizing that these rules aren't working because Violet even says after he was like, make a rule.
Thanks for the lead-in. So Violet says, because he's like, a rule, and he's like, anything, and she goes, we don't keep secrets. No more ask me, no more tests to see who's in and who's out of this relationship. It's full disclosure between us, or it's nothing. And is like, done. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
serious. Even though I knew you were right, I wasn't asking the right questions because I was afraid of the answers, and I still am. Given the fact that you're never completely open with me. Almost everyone in my life has kept secrets from me because I didn't ask the right questions, didn't look further than face value, and I understand there will be times you can't tell me everything. That's the nature of what we do as writers. But I need you to stop setting me up for failure by insisting I figure everything out by what there is to ask.
There it is. And it's one of those things where it's like I love that they give each other the opportunity to change their relationship to work better for both of them. Mm-hmm. And also to change their relationship to work better for the individual as well, which I think is extremely important because these things are not just about, them as a couple. It's also about how they as individuals can be comfortable being a couple.
Yes.
Which I think is so, so, so important.
Yes. And I do love how she does, like, everybody's kept secrets. Like, I can't, like, yes, I get the ask me thing. I understand kind of what you're going for, but it's like, it's setting me up for failure.
Yeah.
Like, it's setting me up for not knowing.
Yeah.
And I have to figure everything out myself.
Exactly. And that can be exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely exhausting. Just for them not to tell you and for you to want to know, but she openly admits that she doesn't know if she actually wants to know.
Yeah,
but
I love how she admitted that. She's like, I know that I was just looking at face value.
Yeah. But she goes on to say that she's a person that values knowledge.
Yeah,
she values facts.
Yeah, she's like, that's how I center myself. Like, I need to know what's going on. And, like, this ask me is not working. Which is kind of the point that I've kind of been trying to make the entire time of the ask me, tell me. Because it's like, yes, he's like, ask me, ask me, ask me. And yes, she needed to dive a bit more into it. Like, I 100% agree. She needed to dive more into it. But I do get her point of, like, it was kind of setting her up for failure because she had to figure out the questions. She had to figure out the answers, and she had to figure out kind of everything in the sense. Where I do like how she was like, there's no more, like, who's in, no more tests, who's in, who's out.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is something that she needed to say a long time ago.
Yes.
But I also think that it's one of those things where it's like hey, kind of have to give her flowers for a second and say, at least you tried the question thing.
Yeah.
You know, at least you, like, were open to the first suggestion and you guys tried it. But hey, it didn't work out and that's okay.
Yep.
Change tactics. Like,
yeah, and it's also like, it could have worked out for a little bit and then it doesn't because people change.
Yeah. People change a lot and it doesn't. And people change within, like, different, like, relationship dynamics and things like that. There's a lot of things that happen that change, and I think that it shows a lot about who they are and why they want to stay. Even though Violet's like, I don't know how much more I can take about this, you can clearly tell that she's still making the effort.
Yeah. Yep. And we love that. Like, it's...
Yeah.
And it is really interesting, again, like, because we are in Violet's head, it is interesting to see the contradictions of, like, I don't know how much more I could take, but I would leave, but I don't want to, not at this moment. You know, like, and hear her, what she's saying to Xaden and stuff like that. And, you know, he does say, he's like, I need to know you'll be here no matter what happens. You'll come back and we could talk or even fight it out. Like, you need to be here.
Yeah.
And
she does say, yeah, she will.
And she says, like, I need to know you. He says, I need to know you won't run, that you'll know you'll never have to. And then she does say, I love you. And, you know, nothing in this world makes sense without you. And...
Gay.
I know. So gay. And...
It's whatever. That's not cute. It's...
No. I mean, I could tell you the whole quote.
Yeah, the whole quote is good.
You could throw my entire world into upheaval and I would still love you. You could keep secrets, run a revolution, frustrate the shit out of me, probably ruin me, and I still would love you. I can't make it stop and I don't want to. You're my gravity. Nothing in my world makes sense without you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was
Haley
good.
Like romance. It's
awful, and I hated it. It was not good at all, and it was just not so uncute, and it was so terrible. I hated it. It was really fun. That was really cute. I really, honestly,
it is really cute.
It for me. I was like, that is, first of all, very beautifully put. But second of all, I just think you can open it. Just open it.
I'm trying. It's stuck.
Okay, I was like, why are you trying to open it quietly? Just fucking open it. Just use your whole hand. I was like, it's not even a whole cap. It's like half of a cap. Like.
Well, that's why I was using my fingers to pinch it. I always use these two fingers and I go, E.
It looked like you were really struggling, though.
I was. It was really stuck there, okay?
Okay. Sorry.
I was opening a water bottle for everybody that's not watching.
Yes, she's opening a water bottle. Sorry, I got distracted. Sorry, I got distracted.
So you were saying?
I don't remember what I was saying.
That's great. I would also like to point out...
I got so distracted.
About how... I don't even remember what you were saying either. I was too distracted on opening the water bottle.
I got distracted.
But it is interesting in how, if you're reading the book and, like, looking at the page, she run a revolution, frustrate the shit out of me, probably, and, like, the word ruin me is, like, italicized. Like, it's really emphasized.
Yeah. Because here's the thing is, we know that that's gonna be like a possibility.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, he's the leader of a revolution. What's gonna happen?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, we don't know what's gonna happen, and so it's the sense of, like, depending on, you know, stuff like that, he could ruin her. But anybody, he even says she can ruin him. So, like,
yeah,
we don't know for sure.
And it's italicized, so we don't know in the type of context.
No. But it is interesting that it's italicized. I just wanted to
It
point
is.
that out. I needed to point that out. And I do love how immediately she is like, I mean it though, like, you need to let me all the way in, or all the love in the world can't hold this together. I'm a person that needs information to center myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how she's calling him out on that. Because he knows that.
Yeah.
He knows that she needs information. And so.
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing is like, sorry. I am one of those people where it's like if you don't openly say it to me, sometimes I don't know. Yeah. Like, yes, he's an intrinsic, so he can read your intentions. But like, he's not doing that. So it's I don't know what your intentions are. I don't know what you're trying to get from me. I can't tell you word for word what you're asking for. Yes, he could, because he is an intrinsic.
Yeah.
But in all intents and purposes, he's not doing that to her. So he's like, you have to tell me. Mm-hmm. And also, for a bit, she was even saying that earlier, before she started translating, was like, I just feel so off center. And he told her to go find her center. And that's where she found it. And so I don't even know if she necessarily thought about it as much as she has within like the past couple of weeks of what it actually is. Yeah. And so I don't know if she could openly, verbally say that that's what makes her more calm until now.
Yeah. And, you know, he's like, immediately after that, he's like, okay, like, what do you want to know about my father, my grandfather, Sigale, the rebellion? Like, immediately he's like, oh, like, what do you want to know? And she's like, oh, like, maybe in her end, maybe something easier. And goes, well, what about your mother? And he's like, oh God, like, really startles back. And she's like, well, no one talks about her. There's no paintings, no references at her being at the executions, nothing. It's like you were not born. And, you know, this is the first time we've really heard about his mom. We've heard a lot about his dad. We've really not heard about his mom. And, you know, he says, she left when I was young. Their marriage contract said an heir had to survive past the age of 10, and then she was free to go, which is what she did. And I haven't seen or heard from her since.
Yeah. And,
you know, Violet's kind of shocked. She's like, oh. Like, that was a lot harder question than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, she asked, like, when did it manifest? And he says this part in the bond because smart.
Yes.
And he's like, about a month after the shadows, I'd already seen Carr kill another first year for reading minds. So when it hit, I held my shit together and went to Sigale. And when Carr asked me if I had any other strange abilities emerge, since they knew Sigale had bonded one of my relatives, I'd lied my ass off. And,
well, they also thought that it was a distant uncle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, not just a relative, but a distant uncle.
Yep. And then, you know, he's like, oh, because my signet of, like, shadow seemed a lot stronger, they didn't have a reason to dig deeper. And it says, like, it does help that the writer was a great uncle, not my grandfather. Which is really interesting that it was written down as a great uncle and not a grandfather. I wonder how that happened. How do you mess that up? Unless it was an affair.
No,
Great uncle? That's the grandpa's dad or brother. So what if it was an affair? Like, they thought they were together.
What?
Does that make sense? Like, how else would it have been written down as a great uncle other than an affair? Because if the grandfather, right?
What do you
bonded
mean?
In the line. Okay.
Who's having a fucking affair?
Okay, I'm getting there. Jesus Christ. So, okay, Xaden, right?
Yeah.
Okay, parents. We don't know what parent is which. Okay, so we're just gonna go up. Grandparents, right?
Yeah.
The grandfather is actually the linear line, but it was written down that it was bonded to his great uncle.
Yeah.
But how did that happen? Was there an affair between his grandfather's wife and the uncle? Because how else would... Like, how would you mess that up is my question, without it being like, what if she...
I guess I'm confused about why you're saying there's an affair, because there's no other human involved. It is Sigale.
No.
They're saying who bonded Sigale.
No, I
so
know who
what,
bonded
did
Sigale, but I'm
Sigale
saying,
have
like,
an
okay, but it's
affair?
written down.
What do you mean? What
No,
where you keep saying the word affair, and I'm like, who is having an affair?
The wife of the grandfather. Like, what if he was married? What if she was married to the uncle, right?
Yeah, but it's written down.
But the child was, so we're gonna say his dad. But she had a child with the grandfather, which would be his dad. But they thought it was with her husband, which is the uncle, and that's how they got messed up.
That's a very convoluted way to think that they got messed up. No, I disagree. I think that it got messed up because they obviously, I mean, we can see from the beginning excerpts that many people were part of the revolution.
Well, I know
for
that.
a very long time. This might, fuck me. Fuck me. This might be a spoiler.
But it's interesting. Do you see my point?
Okay.
Though? I think it's interesting because I mean, like,
I have a fan theory. Do we talk about fan theories right now?
As long as it doesn't have a spoiler, please indulge the non-spoiler people with a theory.
I hope that it does not. It's just I think that the revolution was very much thought about even within the grandfather's generation. So that means that they had scribes that were part of the revolution. So why would they not have scribes change that? If scribes are like the writers of the world, why would that not be an easy switch if you have a scribe that's on your side that's already like transcribing that? Because we know that Yesenia's, not only Yesenia's mother, but also Yesenia's like grandparents' relation to her in a more distant way also wrote some beginning excerpts.
That's true.
Sorry for that fucking quote unquote maybe spoiler.
I don't think that's a spoiler.
But that's also why I'm like, where's the affair happening, Ashley? Because I like thinking about it logically, that would be how they would do that. That's why it got quote unquote mixed up. I don't think it was an accident.
Yeah. Well, the affair.
Because also, Sigale waited.
That's true.
Sigale waited because I'm sure that they thought that the father was going to be a writer, but Xaden's dad was infantry and not a writer. So I think regardless, Sigale was either going to wait for Xaden's dad or him. Because the
Yes.
Because...
Okay. Yes. It's just the affair was coming in where it's like she was married to the great uncle, but had the kid with the grandpa, but they thought it was the great uncle's. And that's where it's like in the lineage line.
But here's the thing. The great uncle, there's no affair. Because it's not, they're not saying that like Xaden was like part of the great uncle's line. Does that make sense? They're not saying that Xaden's dad is part of the great uncle's line at all. What they're saying is what the line that they're telling is like the quote unquote lineage line, what they're like looking at is who Sigale bonded.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with whose kids is whose.
Well, it kind of does.
Or a potential affair that they thought that they had. No, the reason why he's asking is because regardless, if they did have a relative bonded to that dragon, they openly say that their signet might be more powerful.
Yes.
Even though it's not within the linear line.
Yes, I agree. I'm not saying...
So where is...
No, I'm saying that there might be an affair because it was written down that it was his great uncle that bonded Sigale, but it was actually his grandfather. And so the affair might have came from they didn't realize that that was Zeta's grandfather. They thought it was his great uncle because something happened. And now they're... I'm gonna make a whole diagram.
Okay. Just okay, Ashley. I think I need a diagram.
I'll make a diagram.
Because
Don't worry. Pay attention to TikTok. I'll make a diagram.
all I'm saying is there's no affair. I disagree with Ashley in this crazy affair theory because I don't know. There's no affair. There's no affair. The revolution was being planned a very long time ago because the revolution is not about the humans.
I don't disagree with that.
I'm going to stop there. Because the theory gets crazier.
Write it down.
This entire time. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't actually been talking. I've just been writing down spoiler section things.
And
me, there's no affair.
And so continuing back into the chapter, and they, Sigale told Xaden to not tell anybody, and that she thinks anyone that would have known would have killed him or used him as a weapon. And, Violet's like, oh, fuck, that's kind of what I did. And he was like, no, you were asked me for the good of the mission, but you never use it for personal gain. Tell me we're all right. Tell me this didn't break us. He's so scared. This man needs to breathe and get his...
But I would be too. Like you said,
too.
There's a lot of trauma that's like looped into this.
Oh,
a lot of
sure.
it that is the, hey, I know what I did was wrong and I know that I hid this from you for far too long. I just didn't know how to tell you because I was fucking scared.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the same thing like with her. She's like, oh, I didn't ask those questions because I'm fucking scared. You know?
Yeah. And, she says like, well, promise me that you won't use it on me again. And he says, I promise. And then he's like, well, do you want your presents? And she was like, presents? And he was like, you lost 2 of your daggers. And then he's like, you just have to disarm me and they're yours. And she says, and I slid my hands down his chest and did exactly that.
Ooh.
And, Violet's translating.
Well, she's actually not translating.
She's not. She attempted for a day. And
yeah. She tried for a day and was like, I can't fucking do this. I'm going to hand it over.
Yeah, she gave it to Yesenia. And she's like, the assembly still won't budge. And it's only an 8-hour flight to Samara. Mm-hmm. And Rhiannon asks, like, oh, is there anything in, like, Lyra's journal? She's like, I have no idea. Like, Yesenia's still translating that. Yeah. And once she's finished, I'll let you know. Like, I do not know yet. And she has a new conduit because, obviously, she broke hers fighting Solus. Yes. And this time it has a wrist strap, so, like, if she needs to do hand-in-hand, she can let it go, but then she can just grab it really quickly.
Yeah.
Which I think it's really smart.
Yeah, she was like, hey, can I get, like, a holder for it, basically, so that I can still have it in my hand? Because the thing is, the reason why she couldn't use it in that fight is because she dropped it and it broke. Mm-hmm. And so if it's attached to your wrist and you drop it, at least it's attached to your wrist and it's not going to hit the ground until you hit the ground. You know what I mean? Yep. And, she openly says, she's like, wow, like, this war college is now just, like, war. Like, we're really just prepping for war. Mm-hmm. And they're all kind of exchanging ruins, kind of like the Flyers did. Like, they're now all exchanging ruins. And, she's still admits, she's like, Kat is still the best at this. Like, she's great at ruins. Mm-hmm. And she's like, she produced a tracking ruin so she could track other ruins, which we think would be very helpful because, as we saw, Wyvern have ruins in their stone of heart thingies. So they'll be able to track them, which would be really, really helpful. Mm-hmm. And there's been no new attacks, which is good. We love that. Yeah. And, they're prepping for battle, like that Melgren foresaw. And now they're in battle brief. And, Violet's like, God damn it, like, we're too spiteful. Like, this is insane. Like, we need to go help the civilians. And Violet. And then they're like, well, the risk would be too great. And, some kid is like, oh, like, just have, like, my family's there. And, like, another kid's just like, oh, like, just have them move. And then the person's like, well, not everybody can move. Like, not everybody has that luxury.
Like, yeah. Like, they can't pick up their entire lives. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And they, like are still weaker, and they have, like they said earlier in a different chapter, like everybody has at least a dagger now.
Yeah.
But they do say they're like, because they're everywhere, the wards are weaker, because now they're being spread more thin, because
Yep.
there's little parts of the stone in each dagger.
Yeah, the
Thank you.
alloy.
Yep. And
But also, like, not only that is, they're trying, they have the luminary now and they are producing more daggers. It's just the pace that they need to make them is not
there.
Yeah, it's just like it's not there because there's so many that need to be produced.
Yeah. And they're, like I said, they're in battle brief, and they're talking, they're like, oh, like the wards just extend it. If not, they'll kind of fall back to their natural place. And Violet kind of pieces together like, oh, Melkor was using a fear tactic, hoping we didn't know that.
Yeah.
And Violet's like, well, where have they all been? Like, where are they been? And they're like, oh, they're all like by the border. They've been there for 3 days. And Violet immediately is like, it's not Samara that they're going to go for.
Yeah.
And she like jumps up and leaves battle brief, and her entire squad comes. And Kat's like, what are we doing? Like, why are we following her? And like Rhea and Riddick and Sawyer are just like, we've just found it's better just to follow her. She's typically right. Just hold on. She'll explain in a minute.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Violet gets this face and then we know just to follow, and it's okay. We'll get the information soon. Which,
again, we love ride or die friends.
Yeah.
And, she goes and she's like, I need to find Xaden. Like, that's all she's kind of saying. She's like, I need Xaden. And she's like, where are you? And so he leaves the assembly because he's in, like, a meeting. And she's like, it's not Samara. They've been there for 3 days. And she's like, I think they're waiting for them all to fall. And Melgren has his forces focused on Samara, but he can't see the battle outcome because there's more than 3 of us. And she realizes that they're going to be fighting at Bisgayath. Like, they need to be at Bisgayath where the hatching grounds are and things like that. And Xaden's immediately like, okay, do you want to go? And, like, do you want to go back? And she's like, if we don't, we're no better than they are. Because, again, she doesn't.
But that's what she's been saying since
the meeting.
Even about... Yeah. I was like, before that, when they were in, like, not necessarily the assembly, but when they were telling them that they weren't gonna fight with them.
Yeah. And they're like, the assembly doesn't agree. Like, the assembly still doesn't agree. And he's like, I'm gonna go ask, and if they don't agree, we're gonna gather whoever can come. Whoever wants to go will come with us. And that's where that chapter ends. Wow. So we're gonna go see if they're gonna fight. Oh my god, you did write a lot.
I did, yeah. There's quite a bit more. So if you guys are here for the review, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, hit all of the buttons. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our brand new email list. We got some special polls, some events, behind the scenes, fun things, interactive stuffs, as well as if you'd like to support us in any way, we do have Buy Me the Coffee link, which is greatly appreciated. We love you guys. You guys absolutely don't have to do it, but if you like our content and things like that, we would greatly appreciate you guys. If you guys are jumping in and here for the non-spoiler section, welcome. Thank you guys so much. I did write a lot down. A
lot. Like, all she was doing during the non-spoiler was just writing things down.
It's not as much as you think. I think a lot of it ties back into each other, but...
What is that? Okay. It's okay.
We'll talk about it. Ashley thinks that there's an affair, and we're gonna talk about it again. But we are always going to start off with our beginning excerpts. So actually, I really thought the beginning excerpts for these were very interesting and really, really good.
I agree. Okay. Augustine. His name's Augustine. Augustine? Augustine.
Oh. I was like, Augustine. What are you trying to say?
Augustine. Okay.
Augustine.
The day Augustine Melgren manifested his signet changed warfare for the kingdom forever. Navarre and unedited history by Colonel Lunas Markham.
Hmm.
Interesting. I mean, it makes sense because he can see the outcome of battles.
Yeah.
I could very much see why that would be such a big thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Not really much to talk about with that one, but
Also, well, there is, because I'm like, is he the first of that signet to ever appear?
That's true.
Because we don't really see it in nobody else has mentioned it.
No.
Also, of course it would be important, but because he made such a difference when it happened, don't you think that's me? Sorry, hitting things. Don't you think that that's me? Don't you think that that's why the relics that they made most likely protected them against something like that?
Yeah.
So we're gonna I'm gonna go you asked the question earlier about why why can he not see the marked ones if 3 or more are together? And I did bring up the point of, what if you can imbue
a
human with runes, but then also, what if you can there it is.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
What if you can imbue a rune with another rune?
Yeah.
And you can combine them
I think that's what they can do. Because Violet says, even, the wyvern ones are, tons of different little ones.
Yeah. And so I'm like, you could probably do that. But also, something to think about that. Also, something to think about is it's about the dragons. What if, yes, the runes are helping them shield together, and because the rune has been quote unquote technically used, that's why 3 or more need to be there so that the power can gather a little bit more. Thinking about that.
But it's also really interesting because, as we know, Auric gets the same.
Does he?
Signet, yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember what he.
It's in book 3. He gets the same thing, but he can see marked ones.
Okay. See, this is where the other part of the theory comes in, that I was like, this might be a little spoilery.
Let me fact check, but I'm 100% sure that he.
I'm not 100% sure because I just don't remember. But if he can see the marked ones, this comes back to the theory of this could be right. So we all know that signets come from your dragons. If dragons cannot connect to one another and they purposely block each other out and your signet is directly drawn from your dragon, what if the marked one's dragons are blocking Coda out? And that's why Melgrim can't see them, because his power is drawn from Coda. And he can't see what Coda can't see.
But why couldn't... Oh, and Coda couldn't see it because of...
Yes, because the dragons are blocking him out. And so...
Yeah, he's a pre... Yeah, that's what he has.
Yep. And so that's why I'm like, if that is the case, that could be the line of power. If the dragons are blocking each other out and your signet comes from your dragon and your dragon can't see them, then maybe that's why you can't see them, because of that. Because because your power is drawn from your dragon. So there's that. But then it also goes into me. I had a lot of things I wanted to talk about, guys.
I can tell. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. So there's that. I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like that makes sense.
It does make sense. I agree with that.
I feel like that makes a lot of sense about why Melgrim couldn't see them. Also, did you look it up? Can Ulrich see them?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if he gets.
Does he have the same?
He does. Yes, that is confirmed. He does
have the same signet.
And
that's
we see that
cool.
coming up in chapter 64, and then it's mainly in Onyx Storm that we start seeing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just we're so close to the end of this book anyway.
We're so close.
I think we have 6, 7 chapters left.
8 chapters left.
I love that. So it's me. I love that. We're so close. But that's also why I don't think that Malcolm can see the marked ones.
Yeah.
But once
But it's
again,
also
I
so
think,
interesting because he's King Tari's son. But it's also, I guess, like his dragon can see them, so.
yeah. Also, his dragon can see them, but also if you think about why that signet would be so useful specifically for him.
Oh, for sure.
Like, think about ruling a kingdom with that type of signet.
For sure.
Not that, like, obviously Violet's ex is, like, still technically the heir. I forgot his name.
Holden?
Okay, there it is. Yeah, I was
I
like,
know, because I was looking at it.
I was like, I couldn't fucking remember his name. But yeah, technically is the heir, but he's gonna die in book 4. Like, it's gonna happen. There's no way that he doesn't. I'm fucking shocked that he came out alive in the 3rd book, but, it's cool. It's whatever. But
I
also...
heard that wheeze, man.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just like...
She's dying a little bit. But she's still here and we appreciate her.
It's okay. Yeah, it's going hard right now. But I also think that maybe you should just read the second excerpt because I'm gonna keep going on. But, like, do you understand where I'm coming from, though?
And I do. I think it's
why...
interesting, and I think that I'm excited to get more information on Auric and his,
like,
and
how his manifests. Yeah.
Yep, and like the difference between him and Melgren.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll get a lot more information of, like, why can he see it and he can't, like, a lot more of that information. I think it is the dragons. I agree. But I think we'll get more of that information. Once we figure out Auric a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And so the second beginning excerpt.
The second beginning excerpt
is the combined hatching grounds at Beskye is our generation's greatest asset and our greatest liability. The Journal of Warwick of Lucerys, translated by cadets of Violet Soaringale and Dane Atos.
Great. Atos. I love, I was like, great. That, like, launches me into, like, my next subject.
This is great. I've been holding it in. I'm so ready.
Because, so, they say, like, the combined hatching ground. So obviously they combined other dragons to be able to hatch there.
Because it used to be where, like, black dragons had one, blue dragons had one.
Yep.
Green.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they all had
their own separate ones, but now they're all combined. Which, like they said, it's the greatest, like, asset, but their greatest liability, which is really interesting that they combined them. I think we figured, I don't remember if we already talked about it, but I wonder what made them be like, oh, let's put them all
wards
together. Oh, yeah, you're right. Duh. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Me. Yes. The wards. But also, I believe that this comes down to the other thing. I do believe that they combined because of the wards. I think they wanted the ability to make wards when they wanted to, as well as to diversify the like the types of signets and people that could bond, because some people obviously don't have the personality to bond a red dragon. Some people don't have, like, the character traits that a green dragon is looking for. Yeah. So them combining them not only helps them produce wards, but as well as diversify and grow their army.
For sure.
So going back to the reason why I think there wasn't a fucking affair, Ashley.
Oh my God, for back at this.
God damn it. This fucking affair is gonna kill me. I think that the reason why is because the revolution was set in motion much further than Xaden's father. I think the revolution obviously had to be thought about. Like, Sigale thought about this.
Yes, I
agree.
Agree.
So I think that the revolution started further back, like with Xaden's grandfather, and most likely even further. And so therefore, I think that there were scribes that changed it to his great uncle so that Sigale wouldn't be suspected when even if Zayden's father went in and she bonded him. She purposely waited. So that means that the dragons have been also planning their own revolution, which is why I really think that the revolution is not about the humans. It's about the dragons.
I completely agree with
and
that.
that's why Sigale waited. Because Sigale could have, like, because here's the thing is Taryn bonded Naolin while Sigale was not bonded.
Yeah.
Because she waited until Zayden.
Yeah.
Because she was waiting for a direct line.
Yes.
And that's also why I'm like, this is why the revolution goes further back than Zayden's father.
Yeah,
it goes further back.
I agree with every single thing you're saying. The thing that I was trying to point was, I'm not saying there is an affair and it's a definitive fact. I'm just saying if they didn't change, let's say it was written down because I can't see it from there. Okay, I don't want to hit the thing. Can you see it?
No. I can only see half of it. Move it over. Can you? Okay.
Okay. So there's Zayden at the bottom.
Okay.
And then you have his parents. I just put it at his dad because obviously we don't know.
Yeah.
And then if you go up, there's his grandparents, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that what if the grandma had an affair, or she was with his uncle, but had an affair with the grandpa. So that makes him a direct line, but they don't know. Like, they thought it was the uncle's kid. Like, oh, it was like a one-night stand with the grandfather. And then it was like a direct line in that sense. But they thought it was the uncle's kid. They just didn't. So it was written down.
No. The answer is no. There is no fucking affair because the grandfather just impersonated his fucking brother. Why is that not what you thought about? And you were like, obviously it was a fucking affair. It's like, it's not. He impersonated his brother in the quadrant.
Or
that's
too.
why it's written down.
It was
there's no affair.
Or but I'm saying, like, I don't know if, like, the scribes changed it. Like, I think maybe there was, like...
Yes, the scribes changed it. I think that there...
Well, I hope we figure out more about this.
There's not an affair. Comment down below if you guys think that there was an affair or not, because there's no affair.
We'll make a huge poll about it.
It's okay.
But
there's not an affair.
Interesting that they made the combine. And, like, I do believe that the revolution is, like, the dragons, not the humans.
Yeah,
the humans
it's not.
are just
I don't
pulled into it because they've also said, like, they're just like pawns. Like, they bonded them because they're pawns. Like, oh, this would just be a little bit more helpful, I guess.
But here's the thing: is like you also have to think about it. It wasn't. There's no way that the humans were like, "Hey, let's combine the hatching grounds."
No,
because dragons have different personalities. It had to have been their idea to do it.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's like, I'm sure that the dragons led the humans to believe that it was their plan so that they can operate in smoother things.
Yep.
Be more of a smooth operator.
And I mean, like, there could be more dragons that way too.
Yes, you are correct.
You know, like, it's
but also,
like, do you think? I guess, like, what if, like, Taryn and Sigale had a baby? Like, do you think colors can combine in the sense of, like...
I mean, yeah, obviously. They wouldn't be mates if they couldn't combine.
I meant, like, there'd be a black and blue dragon, like, together. Like
a paint.
Yeah, like a paint.
I'm so sorry. That was the only thing that came into my head.
Like a paint.
I don't know, but Taryn and Sigale have both openly said that they have not had kids.
Well, I know that. I just used them as an example.
No, yeah. But also, who's Coda's mate? Because Coda's mate is also not a black dragon.
I don't know who's Coda's
mate is.
But
there is a black dragon egg. So clearly Coda and his mate had an egg.
Yeah.
And it came out black.
Yep.
So maybe... maybe it just depends. Like, you know how, like, you know how some kids, when you, like, look at Okay, specifically 3 kids.
Okay.
Like, if you look at 3 siblings, sometimes you can look at one sibling and be like, oh, they look a lot more like their dad.
Yes.
You can look at one sibling and be like, oh, they look like a lot more like their mom. And then you look at the third kid and you're like, oh, you're definitely a mix of both.
Yes.
So I wonder if that's also how, like, the line could possibly work. Is, yes, there could be a possibility for, like, a mixed dragon, if that makes, like a mixed colored, maybe. But here's the thing: is what if the color can also be influenced by their personality?
I think that's what happens, though, because they choose. Do they choose their? No, they don't choose their color.
I don't. They don't choose their color. They choose their tail. But as in, what if a mix of, like, parents, in terms of that, like, what if they are a black dragon but have personality traits of whatever other color, or possess more knowledge because they have, like, they have more empathy towards other colors of dragons? I don't know if that makes any sense. Do you see?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, do you understand what I'm kind of trying to say here?
Yeah. I don't know. I think, once again, I know we've said it. We need to get more information on the dragons.
I know, but I also that's also why I'm like, first of all, there was no affair. Second of all, the revolution does go further back than just Xaden's dad, because there was so much preemptive planning.
Yes.
And also, we can see that there was so much preemptive planning because of how the other dragons of the
revolution,
of the revolution has bonded.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if hatching records can be changed so easily in terms of who was their writer and things like that. Do you think it really was Rhee's great aunt that bonded that dragon?
Yeah. And it's also, like, I know that they've also openly said, like, why do we believe the dragons are telling the truth about their names?
I also agree. This is why I'm like, hey, guys.
Like, I don't know.
The revolution goes further back.
I know. And so it's like, I really wonder who's lying about their name.
It's not necessarily about, for me, I'm like, it's not necessarily about who's lying about their name. It's the what's going on, and I wonder what happened.
Yeah. Like, it's the why are you lying? Like, what's the bigger reason on why? I'm excited for that. And it's like who and why, I guess. Like, who, Sigale, Terran. Those are 2 main dragons. Coda.
Yeah. Coda and his mate, too.
Mm-hmm. So.
Also, we don't really hear about Coda's mate. I don't know if they're bonded.
I don't know either.
So
I just know that he's the one of the head Empyreans.
Yes. Well, he's part of the council.
But also, like, kind of circling back to the revolution being like afar.
Yeah. Further
like,
generations. Yeah.
It kind of. I wouldn't say it fully starts, but, like, it kind of starts with, like, Warwick lying in the journals and Lyra being like, hey, like, we should share the wards. Like,
it is.
Why are we not sharing the wards? And he's like, no, like, we just need it for Navarre. So it started 600 years ago, technically.
Yeah.
In a very, like, roundabout way. Because her journal didn't lie, whereas Warwick did. And so it's figuring out the difference in that. But it's also there's the difference already. It started 600 years ago. The footing of this was already rocky.
Yeah, it was already in motion. Obviously, there is the one of the fan theories, we can kind of talk about it, that sorry, I just feel like I'm wheezing.
Don't worry, you are.
Huh?
Don't worry, you are.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Avery. You're gonna have to, like, hear it. I was like, I'm sure Ashley can hear it every time. Like, I breathe. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know.
We love our editor. Avery's phenomenal. So
Avery's phenomenal. We love you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, because you are definitely amazing. But speaking of that, if you think about it, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Uh,
Fan theory.
yes.
There is a fan theory that Violet and Xaden are reincarnations of Warwick and Lyra.
I disagree. I don't
There
think
it
they're
is,
reincarnated.
okay.
I really don't. I really don't. I don't want a reincarnation plotline because
Okay.
no, I don't
Why?
think it fits the world. I think it fits other worlds. I could see it in other worlds,
Yeah.
but I don't think it fits this world because it's too grounded. Does that make sense?
That's valid.
Yes, there's magic, there's signets, and there's lesser magic and things like that.
How do you feel about them saying that they're reincarnations of the gods?
And so then no.
Okay.
No. And then I don't think it's reincarnations. I think that it's showing how the past repeats itself. So not necessarily
how history repeats itself.
Yes, thank you. How history repeats itself. Because we know that Xaden is going to be more like, I said Auric. Warwick, thank you. Because he's going to want to keep Violet safe. We know that. We see that. We see him doing that. So I think he's going to want to keep the wards to himself just so he can keep Violet safe. Whereas Violet's like, no, we need to share this with everybody. We're seeing it now. And so I just think it's showing how history can repeat itself and how it's like a never-ending cycle. Like no matter, yes, obviously Xaden and Violet are the good guys. They want to help the people. I mean, it goes to the venom and whatever, but that's a whole different topic. But they're on the good side, but that's still showing history repeats itself. History is repeating itself now. We see it. And so that's why I don't think it's reincarnation. I believe it's showing that history repeats itself, and it is reincarnation. I don't think it'll fit the world because the gods to me are just like kind of help be gods in this world. I feel like it'd be really, all I can see is another book series and it makes me upset. And I don't want that to happen.
I just think that, yes, there are parallels, but I kind of agree with Ashley. I don't think that it's a reincarnation story. I think that there are definitely parallels, but I also think that the reason why there are parallels is if we go back to one of the other beginning excerpts that was actually like translated from Warwick's book is that the idea of the difference of ideology can ruin everything.
Let me see if I can find it.
Well, I think it says the difference of ideology can destroy true love.
Ideology?
Yes, isn't that what I said?
Yeah, but I can't spell. Oh, okay.
Oh, you were saying it to do it like that. I was like, I don't know.
It didn't show up. Ideology, different.
Can destroy love?
Yeah. Destroy love.
Or it's like true love or true passion or, something like that. But it is in a beginning excerpt.
It is.
I think that we're going to, obviously we see it a lot throughout these books, but then also like, through Onyx, we see it more. But I think that there are great parallels, but I don't think that it's reincarnation because I think that the reason why it's not reincarnation is because Lyra was not a part of the siblings that fought. Yeah, like the 3 siblings that fought. She's not like a part of that. That has more to do with like the gods than anything. So, which is also like the idea of, you can say, oh, well, then that's proving that she's a reincarnation of these gods. And I don't think so. I think there's just great parallels to the stories, kind of very similar to, sorry, very similar to, like what we see in other books. And she's using it as a ploy to like foreshadow.
Yes.
And it's also like the idea of like she's using the past to foreshadow the present, which I think is really like such a cool, interesting idea to do that in certain terms,
Yep. I agree.
So that's like, I agree with Ashley. I don't think that they are reincarnations.
Thank you. I'm glad you agree with me.
Did you find it?
No.
No. That's okay. I mean, We don't really need it. It was just if you guys remember back, there really is that thing.
I found it.
Very great.
Oh my gosh. Why didn't okay, it's okay. Nothing kills powerful, unshakable love faster than opposing ideologies.
There it is. Yeah. And so, we can see that
I hurt
happening.
my back getting excited.
And we're, deciding that. But, also the idea of, because it goes back so far, I do have a question that I need to ask. Because we think the revolution goes back in further generations, do you think Brennan knew about the venom before he went to the sacrifice mission?
Absolutely.
You think he did?
I think so.
Okay.
Do you?
Like, why? Like, why do you think he knew?
I think he
or like how?
His father. I think his father knew. And I think he found out there's his father, and that's why he held his father so high. Because his father told him and his mother didn't. He went and fought the thing, realized he could sacrifice himself to help this cause. His father knew he would do it.
Well,
but he thought his father thought he died.
Well, technically his like, that's the thing. Do you think he knew, and that's why she sent him to basically, quote unquote, kill him in a more discreet way than being assassinated?
His mother?
Yeah, like, that's why, like, she, like, sent him. But because technically she didn't make the plan. She just gave the order because she's technically not that high up yet.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of, like, in terms of where they were at when Brennan
6 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe because she did give the order. I don't know. I think he knew the venom, but Kaori was there. Kaori knew what happened.
Yep.
We need to go visit Kaori is what we got to do. But
yeah. So that's the thing is, like, do you think Brennan knew about the venom before he was ordered to go, and that's why they ordered him to go, because he knew too much?
Maybe. Because I do think his father told him beforehand. I think he knew.
See, that's the thing is, I don't know if his father told him, because when Violet brings up the fables, Brennan doesn't know anything about him.
That's true.
Like, Brennan's like, oh, like, I remember, like, that book, like, maybe one time.
Yeah.
Like, or I remember him seeing, like, him holding it, but he doesn't remember the book at all. And so I'm like, did Brennan's father tell him, or was it Naolan? Did Taryn tell Naolan, and Naolan told Brennan?
Or was it a similar situation that Violet was in? Naolan knew. He found out kind of how Violet found out.
Yeah, where it just kind of just happened.
He was the one smuggling weapons. He was the one doing all those things. And then Naolan saves him. Brennan had to take over Naolan's spot.
I don't know, because they openly say that they didn't have a weapon supply until Xaden got in the quadrant.
That's true.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know, because they couldn't have been smuggling weapons out because
they didn't have the mark.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. I don't know. It is a good question. But
also
I do think
just
he could have found out the way Violet found out. Kind of getting thrown into it, like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But Naolan knew and was telling him kind of like, this is this and this is this. And he was like,
yeah,
hold on. Because they were absolutely a couple. You cannot tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
I think it's confirmed.
Yes.
Kind of.
I don't know, but in my mind, they are a couple.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I covered all of my spoilers.
Well, I want to know what the Riddick meme, don't kill him or we riot.
Oh.
Please.
That's right. I forgot about that one. We were talking about Liam dying, and you were like,
we love Liam, but we wanted him
we
to die.
love Liam. We don't want him to die, but also like we knew that it was necessary. It was have you been seeing the stickers that everybody is like, hey, if you kill Riddick, we're gonna riot? And I was just like thinking about that in the middle of it, where it's like hey, I'm like, we love these characters, but he is going to die. Riddick, Ree,
or all.
No, I think both of them are gonna die.
Yeah.
I honestly do. I think both of them are gonna die. I think Riddick and Ree are gonna die. And
what if he kills both of them at the same time?
I don't know if he specifically kills both, but I do think. See, that's the thing.
I just don't think all of the squad is gonna make. There's no way the entire squad is gonna make it to graduation.
Well, we know that Ree's not gonna make it because she keeps saying it. She's like, "Oh, we're all gonna make it. Oh, we're all gonna make it.
He's gonna kill
we're all
Ree.
gonna make it." Yeah. I think here's the reason why I'm like, I don't think Riddick is going to survive, because I think Ree's going to die first. I think what might happen is that Xaden might drain her to prove to the Sage that he really is like the real deal or whatever. Yeah. That's going to happen. She's going to be upset. They're going to have some dream sex. And then it's going to be like that, like really sad, like this is the end almost feeling for her. And then the other battle is going to happen and they're fighting like the big Sage because for some reason they found out if like kind of like vampires or werewolves, if you kill the first one, then they all die and they all get restored or whatever.
Yeah.
They're fighting that dude and he gets a hold of Riddick and he like looks at Violet and says, "Thank you for being my friend," and all of the stuffs.
And then we're just sobbing.
Yeah, it's going to be a big deal.
But it's going to be so good. Like, but also, I know that you and I are very much people that are like, kill them off, do it.
Yeah, no, I think that she should kill them off. I think
also,
that it's
we
a
know
big
that she
thing.
has the balls to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that
does.
she kills her characters off.
She does, and like especially like the first book, there's a lot more death rereading than I remember. Obviously, there were a lot more side characters, but I was like, wow, like I really forgot. Like she does have the balls to kill off characters. She kills off Liam. The Quinn scene with Imogen.
I loved it. First of all,
so
loved the scene. It was really, really good.
But it's also so fun because like Quinn is one of the characters we don't see very often. But the fact that she can put it in Imogen's point of view and just make us care that much.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was really, really, really good. So that's why I wrote that down, just because I thought it was really funny when we were like, "Oh no, don't die," and I was like,
"You're like but yeah." But if it's the character's time to go, do it. Now, granted, is it sometimes I've also heard like kill them right before the character arc is finished, because then it hits you a lot harder.
Yeah, but also
like kill them right before, like if let's say you think they're gonna die in the battle, like the big battle, kill them like right before it, because then it's more shocking and it gives you that more like heavy feel. It's like,
that's true.
You're right. They do that.
That's true. That's true.
They do that in Black Sails. It's very good.
I love that. Yeah, she'll be plugging that series for fucking forever.
You're gonna love it.
It's fine. It's whatever.
We're watching Stranger Things right now, so.
Yeah, rewatching Stranger Things, so.
It's fun, so.
Yeah, it's very, very fun. We talk a lot about that, but
we do.
For me, that's it for book spoilers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We want to say thank you guys so much for stopping in for our spoilers. That's where we are going to end it for today. Make sure to comment if you really think that there was an affair. Like, comment, because there's not an affair. Okay. Please comment down below if you think there was an affair or not an affair. Like, comment, subscribe. But don't forget to also subscribe to our email list. There's going to be a lot more polls, behind the scenes, fun clips, videos, things like that.
And we have a couple things cooking up that we're really excited for, that we're in the planning process of. So
yes, in the planning process of, we're very, very excited for that. Also, if you guys would like to support us in any way, we do have a Buy Me a Coffee link. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for any and all support that you give, regardless if it's monetarily or not. We really do love and appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming. And the last thing that we got to say to you is,
what did the void say to you?